Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to a brand new Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series with the Realms in Exile mod that I know a lot of you guys have asked me to play and to try out, and that's exactly what we're doing in this series. Now, on screen here, you can see the iconic Mount Doom and Barad-dûr, the Tower of Sauron himself. However, we will not be playing as Sauron. We're not going to be playing in Mordor, at least not right away, anyways. I just wanted to start the series off with a pretty iconic shot, and that's what we've got here. Well done to the mod authors for making some pretty great looking models and stuff in this series. But who are we playing as? Where are we going to be? Well, we're not over here in Mordor. We're not even over here in Gondor or in the Shire or anywhere like that. No, we're heading a little bit further south, and we are going down to Umbar. And as you can see here, we are going to be playing as this character, Princess Arphazel of Ar Adunaim. Now, this is an interesting character. I was looking around at all sorts of characters to play here. I wanted to do something in the south, but there was a lot of different options, and I had looked at like playing in Gondor and maybe playing as a hobbit or an elf or something like that. But I was looking around at some characters, and I came across some of these characters down in Umbar, and I liked the idea of the Black Numenorians. Of course, like it's kind of a fascinating thought of these. The fallen, the corrupted people of Numenor, and the lineages that spread down here in the south. Now, obviously, a lot of this is not necessarily canon. At least a lot of the characters and stuff that you see down here. I don't even think that we have an actual official Lord of the Rings map that incorporates anything. I don't even think we have one that incorporates anything that's like south of here, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But in any case, I really like this idea. And then I was looking for characters, and I saw, we've got the King of Umbar here, King Cathu Phazan. But then I saw this little island, and I saw this Grand Patriarch Gillimgad, and I thought that was kind of interesting because he's got the Blood of Numenor trait. And I saw he had some kids, and I noticed most of them were married, and I was like, oh, maybe we could play as one of these characters. And then I saw that he had this daughter here who has the novice sorcerer trait, and I thought, well, that is pretty interesting, isn't it? And then I had this idea of, well, what if I make her into an adventurer so that you can play as her, because she doesn't start as an adventurer. And interestingly enough, I don't know if this is something that is well known in the mod. If you've played the mod and you know it well, or if you're from the dev team, let me know if there's a way to go about this. But when I made this character into a adventurer character, it started off a unique event chain that as far as I can tell, is not like super obvious. Like you have to I used console commands to make this character in an adventurer. I don't know if there's like some other way of going about it, but having her as an adventurer spawns this unique event chain, and I thought that was pretty cool. So that's the character I decided to play, and here is the very first event of that event chain, and so you're gonna play along with it. I don't know if anybody's seen this before or how many people have found this. Maybe it's super obvious, but it seems pretty interesting to me. Anyway, so we'll take a look at this event, and then we'll take a look at our character. I watch the sun rise over the coast, breathing in the salty sea breezes. Finally, I am free. Finally, I am the master of my own fate. Ever since I was born, I was kept under close watch by those calling themselves my family, my cruel father and brothers, and that lecherous priest Varkan. Not once was I permitted to leave the confines of Anagzian, doomed to a pitiful existence within a gilded cage, rotting away with my mother and my sweet sisters, my only kinsmen that I will miss. But they taught me to the use of their dark arts, for which I showed great talent, and those powers have now burned away my chains, I turn away from the ocean and look towards the small camp I have set up. This will be the beginning of my new life, a life lived for myself and not for others. As far as I can tell, this is not like a canon character or anything. This event is from Realms in Exile, as you can see here, but we don't get any more information. Like I said, maybe this is something that a lot of people know about, but yeah, it seemed like kind of a hidden little thing because yeah, I had to use console commands to do this. Now we get a couple options here. We could leave the shadows behind forever, convert to the Covenant of Ulmo, which is one of the Maiar, I believe, refers to the old concord between the Vala Ulmo, one of the Valar, yeah, and the Men of Numenor, yeah, not one of the Maiar, of Valar. As an island nation and the eventual maritime power, Ulmo was among the most revered of the Valar and Numenor. Goes on to, so this is kind of clearly a more good aligned faith here. So there's an interesting option, but if we choose to leave the shadows behind, we lose our novice sorcerer trait and we switch that for wise woman. We get some money. We get a press claim to Ar Adunaim, the island that we're on. And our father becomes our rival. Ooh, interesting. We could also follow the ways of our ancestors. We convert to the Azra Yamanoi Creed, which is an unreformed Umbarian faith. So obviously from Umbar here. Among the superstitious sailors of the Umbarian coast, a cult of the two great sea spirits exists, known as the Azrimanoi. Malicium, the Lord of the Deep, is a harsh lord, capricious in his actions and deeds. He acts seemingly at random and can flip between being a dear friend and a deadly foe in an instant. His wife, Uyunines, Lady of Calm Waters, is a restraining force on his tempers. So we could convert to that, and then we would gain the trait Sailor, which seems kind of cool. But I don't know if that's fully fitting. And then we could also say the darkness shall guide me. Reaffirm your faith, staying true to your upbringing. And our current faith is the, Aganalumaba Aru. I know I know there's somebody in the comments who's already going to be telling me how to pronounce the accented letters in this one, and I know exactly who it is, and that person knows exactly who it is too, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm just gonna pronounce them the way that I can best do. So, our current faith, the king without the shadow of death, refers to the cult worship of Arphazel, the Golden, as an immortal god king. The faith holds that Arphazel triumphed in his war against the Valar. However, in the process, the undying lands in Numenor, now to a hallowed eternal land, were removed from the world. So this faith is kind of explaining the sinking of the Isle of Numenor here. Pharazôn took up his throne as the new great god, and Arminoleth remade the rune from the room a glorious temple city and throne. Now, what's interesting about this is Pharazôn is actually, that is a character mentioned in the appendices or something like that, I think. And from what I can tell, I mean, if you take a look at the name of our house, House Pharazonioniath, now that seems to me, forever loyal to the Gilded King, seems to suggest that we are at least descended from this Pharazôn. So something to consider there. I will be going into a lot of these things. There's probably going to be a lot of reading and a lot of talking in this one because, one, I'm familiarizing myself with the lore of this mod, some of which is based on canon, obviously, but a lot of it, from what I can tell, is not canon. So, because we just don't have information on all of these places and all of these cultures from either the main series, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, or from the Silmarillion or anything like that. So, question is, where do we go from here? Do we want to take this sailor faith, or do we want to leave the shadows behind forever, or shall the darkness guide us? I think Although, well, let's take a look at our character here before we make our decision. So Princess Arphazel is 17 years old, obviously quite young. She is ambitious, she is stubborn, and she is diligent. So, a good set of traits, but nothing in these traits suggests that she is evil or inclined towards evil. Certainly doesn't seem to be inclined towards a goodly nature, but doesn't seem to be inclined towards evil. Well learned, we're a mastermind philosopher, so obviously we're quite intelligent here, and you can see that from our intelligent trait. We're a rather good-looking woman, and we have the novice sorcerer trait. Though but a student in the Morgul arts, the novice sorcerer is still a foe to be dreaded, bearing unnatural power. Learning bonus, prowess bonus, less fertility, but a significant health boost. Natural dread, scheme discovery chance. Nice bonuses from this. From what I understand from the lore in the Lord of the Rings, and you can see it right here, student in the Morgul arts. Morgul obviously being a reference to the black arts. For, you might know a place from Lord of the Rings, Minas Morgul, which is the Tower of Black Arts. It was once a Gondorian city. I'm not actually sure where that is on the map. Somewhere around here, maybe? Or maybe over here, actually. Not 100% sure. But in any case, like I said, I'm not as familiar with Lord of the Rings as I am with Game of Thrones, so I'm happy to get some extra information here from you guys. But in any case, yeah, the black arts. I mean, sorcery is not necessarily a goodly aligned thing. Certainly not. And then, as you can see here, we also have the Blood of Numenor level 2 trait. So obviously the Blood of Numenor is quite diluted in us. It goes up to level 10, 10 being the highest, and then 1 being the lowest. So among the people of Umbar and these southern states and stuff here, the blood has diminished because the Blood of Numenor thrives most, as you can see here, among characters or among people who have a noble heritage and nobility of spirit. And so obviously, the people of Umbar and stuff are not known for being noble of spirit. And we are, in fact, Umbaran or Umbarian here. So by the late Third Age, the Corsairs of Umbar had undergone many waves of migration, although their ancestry was now mostly Haradrim and Gondorian with only a trace of Black Numenorian blood. They retained a strong Adunaic identity in opposition to the Dunedain of Gondor, propagated by the rising of the Casimirioni dynasty, which claims to descend from Castamir himself. Though most only know them as fearsome corsairs, they have produced a vibrant maritime culture that often clashes with Gondor upon the high seas. So yeah, very diminished Numenorian blood here, but obviously being from a royal family, it still flows within our veins. So yeah, the question is, where do we go from here? Well, considering our options here, I definitely don't want to leave the shadows behind. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go full on evil with this character. I want to leave my options open. Doing the sailor option could be interesting if we were going to play as like a pirate queen type of character, and I was very tempted to take this option. However, I want to play around with the magic and stuff a little bit, and I'm curious to see what kind of things you can do with that. And so I think we're going to go with the darkness shall guide me. And so that's the option that we're going to take there. So let's dive into this a little bit more. Here is where we just recently escaped from. So as you saw from that event, our character, along with our sisters and our mother, were basically kept imprisoned, in this gilded cage, as it was so aptly put in that event. And so we've been, a prisoner of our own family since, probably from birth. And we have just recently escaped. Well, let's take a look at our family here. Our father, who is now our rival, wrathful, zealous, ambitious. I mean, not a good man, certainly. Um, our mother here, compassionate, content, and just. So interesting, right? Like Umbarian, but a good person here. Our mother is, and quite the beauty as well. And then you can take a look at our siblings, of which we have 4. So we've got our brother, Prince Gilimzor, who's a strong, capable warrior. We've got our other brother, Prince Gimilthon, or Gimilthone, Zimraphelion. Gimilthone Zimraphelion, who's another capable warrior. And you'll notice that their wives' pictures pop up here, looking a lot like our sisters. Indeed, both of our brothers are married to both of our twin sisters here. Princess Arkadeth Zimrapheliel, who's, I mean, she's not necessarily a good person. Ambitious, callous, vengeful there. So, but another great beauty. And then our other sister here, Princess Adunafel, who is a little bit more compassionate and just than some of the others in our family. So we escaped from our father and we have taken to the sea, and I believe that we're going to, we've ended up here in Abarloni, and that's where we've sailed to. Now, how did we escape? Well, we escaped with the help of some of our, I suppose, friends and companions, what little friends and companions we could make. One of them is a Gondor an Berazon. Now, this is one of the warriors within our within the ranks of our father, or he was anyways. Brave, trusting, and lustful. Well, you can kind of imagine, he considers himself a gallant man. He's a capable warrior, lost an eye in battle, probably upon the high seas, and very loyal. He seems to be a man who kind of like a Lancelot-esque figure, for he rescued us from our prison and helped us escape upon the seas. Now, he may have had some ulterior motives, and the fact that, he does have a wife that he has left behind here maybe lends a little bit of credence to that. But he is the man who helped us escape, and so we do owe him our life and our freedom for that. Now, if he wants to be more than a friend, he'll have to earn that. But in any case, we also have Gimelin Zaya. Now, this is a woman who was assisted with our escape as well. Trusting, arbitrary, and craven. She's craven, but she did help us along. She is our friend. Astute intellectual, a wise woman, a herbalist. She is albino, and she does have a little bit of that blood of Numenor in her as well. She is Umbarian, but of the New King's Men, which is a faith that is championed by the followers of Castamir, the usurper. We're probably going to learn more about these things as we go along. But we've escaped from our father. We've fled to the city of Abarloni. But that's not the end of the story events for this character, and we're going to see some of those soon. But first, I want to go and pick our lifestyle. And, well, considering that there's a new one right here, crafting, we got to go with this one, right? We got to see what crafting works with. And considering we've got some magic powers, maybe we'll go along with that. So we're going to select crafting, and I'm probably going to go down the enchanting route. Maybe we'll become a bit of an enchanter. Make ourselves a ring of power. That can't go wrong, can it? No player air, that's fine for now. And available camp purpose. Now, we have a couple options. We could become scullers. Considering that we are of the like a scholarly persuasion. But we could also become legitimists as well. Ransom cages, witness, master of spoils. I think that we're going to go with Scullers because I feel like our character is going to get out there into the world and she wants to learn, she wants to explore and see what is actually out there beyond the island where she was kept a prisoner. So I think we're going to go with this and we'll see what happens from here. We can switch after some time. But yeah, I think we're going to go with that option there. Now, like I said, I do know that some more story events are going to pop up here. The path ahead. Finding myself wandering the streets of Abarloni, my thoughts turn to the future. I've put enough of a distance between my family and myself to be sure that they either gave up the pursuit or lost my trail. I could start anew from here, and yet, part of me wishes to go back once I've gathered enough strength and tear down any semblance of power that my father Gillimcad still bears. To see him humbled before me as I take his place on the throne would work wonders to heal some of the wounds I've suffered on that blasted island. Abarloni is a city of many opportunities. Do I spend some of the coin I brought with me to hire able fighters, or do I find it with me to finally let go? Vengeance is folly. I must move forward, or I will see my father laid low. Oh, this is an interesting option here. Do we want to go with the vengeance route? Or do we want to... I mean... Okay, so you can see here, a story contract becomes available. It becomes available with either option here. We could get some troops right away. Some Abrazanim Nardudawib, something like that. Anyways, we could get these troops, but I don't think so. I think we're gonna travel light for now. I don't think our character. We might later on start to gain a little bit more ambition, but we're 17 years old. You know, I don't think we've got it in our mind to really start pushing towards this this idea of, you know, taking our father off his throne. I do think that something like that will come along later, but considering we just escaped, you know, we're not going to be hiring 200 men to come along with us. We're kind of playing it a little low key here, so I think we're going to say vengeance is folly. I must move forward here. The Dawn Ascendant. I will not let anyone dictate my choices in life any longer. That much is assured. And yet, all my life I was Arphazel of the Ar Adunaim. That name does carry weight, even now. If I willed it, I could decide to separate myself even further from my family, branching off into a house of my own. I have no master other than myself, after all. And yet, I may yet discover that there is something deep inside that wishes to keep the final link I have to my family, to my sisters, alive. I will forge a new path, a new dawn, or I will keep that final connection intact. I don't think that we're going to create the cadet branch. I think I will forge a new path, a new dawn. Well, it's kind of a tough decision, actually. Maybe we will create the new cadet branch. And we are now of the house of Pharazonioniath Abarloni. If somebody has a better suggestion for a better name for this cadet branch, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll take some suggestions for that. Because our character, she's now, you know, has this opportunity to forge her own path. And as you can see here, that includes this story contract. Now, like I said, I have no idea if this is like something I just stumbled upon, you know, kind of by chance. Like somebody in the mod team, if somebody in the mod team is watching this, let me know. But somebody in the team went and created this whole story path for this character that in order to play, you have to go in console commands and make them an adventurer character. Maybe there's another way of doing it, but I don't know. So in any case, it seems like, you know, kind of an interesting thing that we stumbled upon here. So we're going to do this story contract here. To the north lies the great haven of Zimraloni, known to the scattered men of Herondor as a Merland. The Lord of Merland has sent me a message inviting me into his residence to discuss a lucrative contract. The details are yet unclear, but in the message it was made clear that the outcome of this contract will affect the fate of the entire city. Well, we're going to go and travel to accept this. We don't have a caravan master, and neither of our characters are pretty good, but there's no danger. We're going to have to pick up some new followers as we go along, and if you do want to be one of those followers, then all you have to do is just look below and click the join button. Channel members at the counselor tier or above do get to make characters in these series. So something to consider if you're interested in that. But let us travel to accept here, and let us see what we have here. Purse Pursuit. As I'm looking through the market stalls of Yant Zalim, I feel my purse strings cut. Despite my immediate reaction, the thief disappears into the crowd. Oh, look at this thief, Urithor. Only through pure coincidence, one of my guards sees the man as he heads into a back alley. Stop or I'll have your head. One of my guards shouts at him, and the thief turns around, giving us an angry, shifty stare. I have a job offer for you. Think of the money as your first payment, Urithor. Oh, this guy's a kind of a sneaky guy. Filthy thief, you think you can steal from me? He's killed by us? I don't know about that. Give back the money and we can leave it at that. Maybe we bring this guy along with us. Maybe he could be useful. He's just a young man. He's only 18. I mean, with that mustache, he looks like he's 35. But no, he's just a young man here, and he could be useful to us. Let's bring Aladdin along with us here. I have a job offer for you. Come along with us. Could you be our caravan master? So we've got our personal physician here, Gimmelin Zaya, and Gondor is our second in command. But could this guy? No, he's a terrible. Could he be our stooge? He would be good as the stooge. So there you go. There now we have our stooge. Evil opportunist. He is. Yes, let's go and check out this story event over here and see what we have to offer here. As I arrive in the city of Zimraloni, I'm quickly escorted into Belzegar's residence. He offers me a lavish choice of food and drink, inviting me to sit at his table so we may speak about the reason for my coming. Lady Arphazel, he begins, his voice silken and respectful. I've heard of your plight and your daring escape from that dreadful island. Glad I am to see a songbird such as you set free at last. His eyes fixate on mine as he gives me a slight nod. I've also heard of your talents. Much am I in need of them. Advise me and I shall reward you handsomely, granting you protection within my walls for as long as you require it. At last, Belzegar falls silent, expecting an answer from me. If it is my counsel you desire, you shall have it, or I have no interest in you or your city. This option will end any further story content. Well, we're not going to do that. If it is my counsel you desire, you shall have it. Hearing me accept his offer, Belzegar seems pleased. Who is this guy, Belzegar? High Lord Belzegar of Zimraloni. He's got some Numenorian blood in him. He's zealous. He's gregarious and calm. Interesting enough. Very good, Lady Arphazel. Now let us get to the matter on which I require your counsel. He unfolds a large map of the city and the surrounding regions, showing the mouth of the river Harnan and the coastlines to the north and south of it. Merland is a melting pot of at least 3 distinct peoples. The Herondorim, sundered kinsmen of the folk of the South Kingdom, have dwelt here since the waxing days of Gondor. But it is the Harus that were here before him. And of course, there are the proud Umbarians, and all 3 folk now strive for control of my city. Tell me, lady, who should I favor as the days darken and war looms on the horizon? That's a good question. So the culture here is, well, it's Umbarian apparently, so I'm not sure who these other people are, the Harus. The culture of the Herondorim, descend from Numenorian colonists and various Dane peoples. Well, considering that we are Umbarian. I think that the Umbarians are the true rulers of this land now. I think we've got a little bit of pride in our cultural heritage. So the Lord of Zimraloni gets no stone unturned control growth. We gain some money for completing the contract, and he becomes part of our roll of patrons, and he gains 80 opinion of us. Well, that is good to see there. So yeah, nice. Like I said, yeah, it's very cool that this weird obscure character has this whole drawn out story, and I have played around with it a little bit. I haven't gone all the way through the story, but I know it continues from this point as well. If we wait a little bit of time, we should be seeing some new contracts or new story events pop up. But in any case, while that's going on too, I mean, obviously we've got Dark Lord Sauron here, ruling Steward Denethor II. This is all during the time of the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm not exactly sure. I think the mod takes place just before those events, because I'm pretty sure you can play through them. But obviously we've got Saruman the White and all of that. So yeah, who knows how much we're going to be interacting with those characters? Probably not for a while, but yeah, it's pretty cool. This is my first time playing the mod too, so I'm exploring it. So if you've got any suggestions, like I know that there's the sorcery that we can do, and we'll definitely take a look at that. We can craft artifacts. Definitely will be taking a look at all of that kind of stuff. There's also these, I think there might be some special decisions and events and stuff like that. Sailing voyage, historical endeavor. Yeah, pretty cool things here that we're going to explore as we go along. But we do have another story contract here. Up along the coasts of Herondor lie many smaller ports that have changed hands often in the wars between Gondor and the Haradrim. One of them is Harfalas, currently ruled by a lord of the Herondorim. Upon hearing of my success in Merlond, the Lord of Harfalas has requested my assistance in a delicate matter, inviting me to come visit as soon as I may. Travel to accept. Let us go. There's a tiny bit of danger here, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll have to find ourselves a caravan master, but we shall see. Oof, I find myself making such noises when sitting down at the campfire in the evening now. The elders always talk about how that happens when you get older, but I am only 18. Yeah, you are too young to be groaning when you're sitting down. Wait till you're my age. No such is the wear and tear of our life. Lived rough, yeah, in our gilded cage. I can see the toll it takes on others too. Gondor winces a bit as he sits down next to me here. I mean, you're only 35 and you've got the blood of Numenor in you, so you're gonna live till you're at least like 100 years old, so I don't see why he's complaining either. That inn we passed had many spare beds. We could become rested and refreshed for 5 years. That actually sounds... My poor back demands more luxurious surroundings. Upgrade your pavilion building for a discount. Oh, adds pavilion to Arphazel's camp. Yeah, I think we do demand more luxurious furnishings, right? Spend the money and get ourselves a better tent here, or do we just pay to stay in the inn? I feel like that actually well, that's a good question. I mean, we are ambitious, diligent, you know, we're used to sleeping better, but maybe the idea of staying at a little inn would appeal to somebody who has never, you know, had that kind of experience before. So let's stay at the inn there. So here we go, heading to Harfalas. Soon enough, I find myself in the private chambers of High Lord Lintoran of Harfalas. Only one trusted servant stands at his side, signifying the importance of this private matter. This is about my wife, Boromis, he explains. She has been seeing other men, shocking, more than once, and though I love her dearly, I do not know what should be done about the whole situation. How would she fare were her secret to be exposed? But there must be consequences. She has dishonored you, my lord. Imprisonment is only just, or it is important to show clemency as a ruler. Well, interesting question here. Considering the way that our mother and our sisters and ourself were treated by our father, I feel like we would have sympathy towards this woman. You know, I don't think that we would be advocating for a harsh punishment for her. I just don't really see that as something that our character would find to be you know, within her own kind of moral leanings anyways. So we could say show clemency to her. Yeah, we spend some prestige, but we complete the contract, and I think I think it's fitting. Daggers in the daylight. Just as I make my way towards the gates of Harfalas, intending to leave town after completing my contract, I hear a commotion in the alley up ahead. I see a young woman about to be attacked by a threatening figure who raises a dagger. As I get a few quick steps closer, I see the lady's guards incapacitated on the ground. She is attempting to fight off her attacker, but has received a cut across her forearm already. If I wish to intervene, the time is now. A quick stab to the assailant should do the trick, or this is really none of my concern. Oh, this would end any further contact. Who is this woman? Firian Durthoron. She's a Gondorian? Yeah, right? She's a, yeah, okay. She's from Gondor here, from, where is this? Lynn here. Interesting. A Gondorian woman. What's she doing so far south here? Well, obviously a quick stab to the assailant should do the trick. Oh, and we were injured in the fight. The would-be assassin falls to the ground, momentarily stunned by my blow to the back of the head. The guards recover, dragging the assailant away as the young woman turns to me. "By the king, you saved my life," she exclaims. Before I can react, I find myself embraced in a tight hug. It takes a second before the stranger backs away, an apologetic smile on her lips. "Forgive me, lady, and pray let me say my name. I am Firian, at the service of yourself and your family, here on a diplomatic mission of great import." Ah, that explains it. "But you must tell me your name. I am in your debt from this day to my last." I tell her that I am Arphazel, currently a guest of the Lord of Merland. Firian nods eagerly before she turns to leave. "I will write to you soon, Lady Arphazel. I will not forget your kindness." As she turns the next corner, I wonder if this was a fateful encounter, as it would appear to be. It's time to return to Merland and get some rest. All right, let's do it. So we have a friend in Gondor. Very interesting little turn of events there. Let us return here to Merland, and we'll go from there. And our dear friend has treated our wounds, and luckily no scars on our the pretty face that we have here, that we wield against our enemies when necessary. We've got a ton of money. Probably should upgrade my camp here, right? Upgrade to the next pavilion level. I know we could have got that for cheaper. Or do we want to do one of these options? Like, I want to pick something that like makes sense for our character, right? So probably having like a roaring campfire, or that's a good question. Let's just upgrade for now, and I'll leave it up to you. You guys can suggest what we do after that point. So yeah, I mean, do we want to do, like, can we do sorcery? The time has come to force my will onto this Middle Earth. I have sacrificed much for the Anagan Lumba Aru over the years, and I've learned much of ancient lore of sorcery and magic. I will soon initiate a dark ritual to invoke the kings. Yet I must plan the location first. Deep in the wilds, an uninhabited place, I will commune with the kings in my chamber at Zimraloni. On second thoughts, I'm not ready for this. I mean, do we need to do any magic? I guess we could try it, right? I will commune with the kings in my chamber at Zimraloni. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see. Call the Horde. Mark of War. Assemble the war chiefs. Raise the dead. Ooh, okay. Invoke watchers. Summon a being of darkness. Okay, clearly this is all evil. Cracks of the earth. Draw forth dark vitality. Forge Morgul weapons. And a bunch of other dark spells. Plague, darkness, black breath. Oh gosh. I don't see a need to do any of these right now, but cool to know that we have the option. But that might mean further descending into darkness here. We can request some stuff from these guys. Belzegar, what would we want to request from him? We've got plenty of provisions. We want to. I don't think we need to request money. We could get men-at-arms from him. This, maybe now we would consider getting some men-at-arms. Because we've been traveling a little bit and there's been some danger, maybe we start to recruit some men-at-arms that can assist us with our goals here and kind of protect us on the way. So we get one men-at-arms here. Let's see what we got. Abrazanim Nardu Baruda. So we've got some pikemen here. Very cool. So we've got a contingent of guards that a Gondor can lead for us here. So this is our protection, because clearly we're being, called upon by, some great lords and stuff here, and so I think that shows that our name is a little bit well known and that people respect the power that we are rumored to wield. A letter arrives in my camp, set by Lady Firian of Linhir, whose life I saved during my stay at the city of Harfalas. She invites me to visit her father's court in order to properly thank me for the rescue and discuss new opportunities for me in Gondor. Travel to accept. Well, I think that we're going to do that, but before we leave, we should probably call in our other request from this guy as well to rent a knight. High Lord Lintoron of Harfalas will present 3 knives that we could choose from to rent for 5 years. Maybe we'll do that. We'll get a knight, and we will use his services to assist us on here. Calamir Calionath. Oh, is this like his son? Interesting. I've handpicked a few of my most restless knights. Oh, he's gonna send his son here with us, his second son. That's kind of cool, actually. Calamir. Oh, and he's actually a good man. Generous, content, diligent. He's an astute intellectual. Huh, actually. Maybe, and he's 23. Man, maybe we've got a future prospect here, Calamir. Calamir does look promising, doesn't he? Interesting. All right, let's bring Calamir along. Poor Agandur, the Lion, as he is now known. He's gonna be a little sad that he has a little bit of competition now. And look, Calamir can be our guide. Look at that. So we do have our caravan master now. Still a little bit of danger. So let's bring along some mercenary guards. And what's the other danger gonna be from here? It's a straight. What do you need for a straight wilderness kit? Experienced captains? No, that's not it, right? Pathfinder gear? Floodplains danger? I mean, it reduces the danger somewhat. All right, let's try it. We should be fine. It's only a little bit of danger. Corsair Lord Jorad of the Fangs of the Red Serpent is coming along with us too. I guess this was one of the experts that we hired there. All right, let's go. Let's head over to visit our dear friend. Cultural fascination. Ever since entering Tirfalas, I have been treated much like an animal in a spectacular garden. The people stare in amazement at the mere way I speak and carry myself. As we make our way through, I am suddenly approached by a peculiar, enthusiastic man who, unlike the rest of the crowd, speaks Southron. My word, it's true. An Umburian high lady, here of all places, I have long admired your customs. The honor is all yours, or teach me about your people. Ooh, okay, yeah, let's learn this language scheme. We can probably learn quite a few languages, I imagine. Yeah, we could learn 7 languages, apparently. Night by the campfire. Long after night has settled, I find myself laughing, telling stories and drinking with Gillimanzea, Agandur, and Calamir. I didn't know she had it in her, but Gillimanzea ends up telling a particularly ribald story about 4 peasants she had seen in Zimraloni. After drying my eyes from the laughter and drinking a bit to clear my throat, I will tell a story of my own with some extra embellishment, or ask Gillimanzea Gillimanzea to tell another story. I don't know if we have any stories, do we? I don't think so, because we were imprisoned forever. So let's just have our dear friend tell us another story. A woman of unusual skills. After we traveled together for a while, I've noticed there's something about Gillimanzea. She seems to know the weirdest things and often ending up in curious conversations with those around her. She comes very close to heresy with some of her thoughts, often questioning what the rest of us take for granted. And yet I cannot help but feel like she is right with a lot of her opinions. I would like to hear more about what you know. Ooh, we could gain the trait Wise Woman. You are the pride of this entourage. Oh, I like this. Yeah, let's definitely take let's learn our ways. So we have become a wise woman as well. Interesting. Rune rambling. Scouting out ahead of the camp, I come across a ramshackle collection of traders. But there on the outskirts, there are some runes. Best to be safe and buy provisions? No, let's go and check out the runes. Ah, we discovered nothing in them though. That's unfortunate. Hoping to get an artifact there. So here we have crossed the river. Oh, what river is this? The Anduin? All right. Land of milk and fish. As I get up in the early morning, I cannot help letting out a loud yawn. Stretching, I make my way out of my tent to see that people are already moving about. I notice a Gondor heading off with what looks like a makeshift fishing rod. Where are you off to? I ask him. He responds with a nonchalant shrug. It's a nice day for fishing. Sounds like a good idea, actually. Let us rest here. Get back on your horse again, dude. We have places to be. Let us rest here for a couple days. We could get some provisions out of it. We don't really need it. But let's it is a nice day for fishing. Maybe we'll sit with the Gondor and watch him fish. Danger, flawed fare. Calamir is in charge of our food supplies, but sheepishly reveals our oh no, our food is all but useless. Let us let's see, it's just a bit of mold. No, nature will provide for us, I'm sure. Alright, here we are. Now we're crossing. We're in Gondor now, or we've been in Gondor for a little bit here, but pleasant prattle as we pass through the barony of Bar Gilrain. A jubilant local approaches my entourage. Her smile stretches from ear to ear. She's offering me a warm welcome, but the finer aspects of her speech are sadly lost on me. Ooh, we can barely speak Western here. Join us on our journey to Linhir. Oh, we could bring this woman along with us. Oh, and she's rather capable as well, a novice physician. And she does have the blood of Numenor with her as well. I'm feeling rather feisty today. Interesting. Learn language gains 263 days of progress. Oh, we could have a little amicable debate. Or do we bring her along with us? I think we bring her along with us to get more characters in our entourage. Your dynasty has unlocked the Southron Chanting Legacy. Okay, that's cool. Alright, we're almost here in the city. Linhir, City of Opportunity. As soon as I arrive in the port of Linhir, Farian takes me to see her father, Lord Harian of Dor en Ernil. He thanks me for saving his daughter, offering me a chance to stay in his city for as long as I want. Much need have we in Gondor of those we can trust, for the power of the enemy grows ever stronger. You are forever an honored guest in the house of Dorthoron, Lady Arphazel, to whatever end. But Furion draws me to the side, concerned and pensive. In Gondor, a name in your tongue is seldom heard of. It may attract unsavory attention and may be worse. I suggest a change in identity, says Furion. Even here in Gondor, we have heard of an Umbarian sea lord offering a large reward for the capture of his wayward daughter. Oh, so our father's out to bring us back in. And there are a lot of folk in Gondor who would take that opportunity. To that end, you should start anew in this land with my help. Though the shadow grows ever darker, Gondor and Belfalas are especially still havens of freedom and opportunity. You can be safe here. But I have been Arphazel my whole life, and leaving my identity behind is not a step to be taken lightly. Do I agree to the suggestions of these Gondorians and become one of them? I will adapt to this new land and seize my chance. I won't change who I am on a win. So we could stay here. We will be offered to change our name, and we will adopt the Belfalathrim culture. Nowhere else in Gondor is the island culture of Numenor of old so well maintained as it is in Belfalas. Ooh, okay. So this is like a strong Numenorian culture here, which is cool, which is very cool. Due to the specific nature of the Aboriginal Dane presence on the peninsula, most of the Belfalathrim kept a greater amount of Numenorian blood. They are proud people who rarely take oaths if they can't fulfill them, and are often more romantic than the average Gondorian. Oh, a little bit of romance. Belfalathric nobles and townsfolk are usually fluent in 2 languages, Westron and Sindarin, and many of them admire elves to the point of emulating their customs. Ooh, okay, or we could return to Merlond. Either one will lead to potentially a new story opportunity. But now, I think this is where I leave the question to you, dear viewers. Do we want to stay here in Gondor with our new friend, Firian Durthoron? Learn the ways of the Gondorians? Try to find some opportunity here? Or do we return south and see what opportunity awaits us down there? I mean, we have some friends down in the south, but clearly we've got a strong friend here in this place as well. Let me know what you think down below. I'm very curious about this. Like I said, this character seems really cool, and I'm just the fact that there's this entire story that goes along for her. I'm really curious to see how it'll all play out. But that will all have to play out in the next episode. As always, I want to thank all of those who watch these videos, all of you who leave comments, and also especially those of you who are channel members, either on YouTube here or on Patreon. You guys are all the reason that I continue to make these videos, and continue to make these videos I shall, because we're going to be coming back in the next one when we decide whether we shall stay in Gondor or whether we shall return to the south. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.